What's up guys, we're back with another tier list video. I've not made these in a very long time, but we're back. Okay, so don't worry. Today we're ranking the best consoles of all time. Okay, their influence on the gaming industry. So we've got like 25 here, I think. Yeah, it should be like 25. Let's get into it straight away, shall we? So first we have the arcade machine. Good old arcade machine. You know, your Pac-Mans and your Donkey Kongs. I'd have to put this at trendsetter. Okay? It's not as important as some of these other ones. But without it, we wouldn't have these. Okay, we wouldn't have these. You get me? It established what a video game is. And then the rest of these massively expanded on it. So I'll put the arcade machine at trendsetter. Nintendo Game Boy Advance. Obviously I was too young to have even been playing on this, but I'll put it here. Yeah, solid staple. I'll put it there. It sold pretty well. But it didn't live up to these two. Game Boy in front though. The Nintendo Game Boy and the Nintendo Game Boy Color. Era defining. Okay, this was its successor and it did well, like I said, but it didn't define the era like these two did. The first portable gaming consoles. Well, not the first, but the first ones to truly define what it means to be a portable gaming machine. The Game Boy and the Game Boy Advance. Playing Mario on the go. They introduced Pokemon to us. Bro, they really defined an era. These have to go at the top. They're one of the best consoles ever made. The Nintendo GameCube. I'll say this is like Forgotten Flame, solid staple. I'll say it's a Forgotten Flame because it sold quite poorly. Yeah, it did sell quite poorly against the Xbox and the big boy, the PS2 over here. It did sell quite poorly, but to be honest, people are saying that the games look better than the PS2 on the GameCube. You get me? The third party support was there. And the Nintendo games, obviously, you know Nintendo's always eating. Always eats. The Super Smash Bros, the Mario Karts. Always eats. Had a good Nintendo lineup. But, yeah, it just didn't sell well enough for me to put it any higher. It only sold like 20 million units. So I can only put out Forgotten Flame. You get me? It's a legendary console, but eventually people are going to forget about. Nintendo Entertainment System. That goes at the very top. That's one that I think that is the most important console ever made, bro. Without the Nintendo Entertainment System, none of the remember I said the arcade machine, right? Without this, none of these would exist. None of these. Okay? Because there was the video game crash of 83 or something like that. Yeah. This bad boy here saved the whole industry with Super Mario Bros. Okay? The most iconic video game of all time, Super Mario Brothers, came out on this bad boy and brought gaming back. We would not have Call of Duty if it wasn't for this. We would not have Fortnite if it wasn't for this. We would not have FIFA if it wasn't for this. I know it sounds absurd, but we would not have those games if it wasn't for this, bro. This brought gaming back to life. We really gotta thank whoever made this shit, bro. And like, I know Nintendo made it, but the specific person that decided, okay, let's jump back into gaming and we'll save the industry with this. Whoever that guy is, he's probably dead now. It's been 40 years. But, bro, you blessed us big time. You blessed us big time. Big thanks, man. The Nintendo 3DS. Solid staple. Again, it's like the Game Boy Advance, where it's a successor and it did well, but didn't do as good as its predecessor. Get me? Its predecessor's gonna go to the top. We'll get there soon. But the Nintendo 64. Yeah, solid staple. Solid staple. Can't put it any higher because it got completely demolished by the PlayStation at the time. You get me? But it did its best. First time, 4 players, 4-player multiplayer. This was the first time you could do that, you know? 4-player split screen. Without this, there's no Mario Kart 4 players. There's no Mario Party. Bro, there's no 4-player games without the N64. This is where it all started. So yeah, it's pretty important, but I'll put that solid staple though. I can't put it any higher. Nintendo DS. Nintendo DS can go there. Era defining. You're telling me we can take games on the go? Okay. But what the fuck do I need 2 screens for? Oh wait. One screen to watch Mario racing, the other screen to look at the map. Oh wait. One screen to drive, you know, top view down on GTA, and the other to look at my inventory. Oh wait. One screen to look at Mario and Sonic running, and the other screen to look at where I'm placed, what position. It was such a stupid idea that just worked perfectly, bro. You get me? The Nintendo DS was so strange, so innovative. You cannot put it anywhere but era defining. It has to go at the top, okay? Amazing idea. But the best idea for a console, and the best console ever made, is the Nintendo Switch. Okay? The Nintendo Switch is the best console of all time. You cannot convince me. You cannot sway me with this one. You're telling me I can play a video game on my TV in my living room and my parents want to watch the news. Okay, let's say I'm still a kid, my parents want to watch the news. My dad tells me I gotta turn off the PlayStation, or he just calls any console PlayStation, right? I gotta turn off the Nintendo. If it was a PS4, a PS3, a Nintendo Wii U, I'd have to turn it off. Okay, well, not a Nintendo Wii U, but you know what I mean. I'd have to turn it off. But with a Switch, what do? You carry it. You carry the game you were just playing on your TV somewhere else. You continue to play your game. You don't stop for no one. You don't need a TV. You can play your game on that small screen. And if the screen's too small, don't worry. The OLED version is an inch bigger. Pause. This idea of switching seamlessly from a home console to a portable console is the greatest idea ever for a gaming console. It is the best console of all time. I don't care. And you know what? I've got the successor right here. The Nintendo Switch 2. I've got the Nintendo Switch's successor right here. And the only issue I had with the Nintendo Switch was that it was heavily underpowered. It was like a bit more powerful than a PlayStation 3. This is like a PlayStation 4 Pro. Okay, this right here is like a PlayStation 4 Pro. So Nintendo really packed this one with power. Well, until the PS6 comes out and just completely demolishes it. This isn't even near the PS5. But yeah, in a couple years, this one, it could go here. It could go here or here, definitely. Maybe not here, because the idea was already there It just, you know, manifested on it. It amplified the idea. So it might not go here, but it could go here or here. I can see that happening. Let me put my console back. But yeah, Nintendo Switch, definitely the best console of all time in my opinion. The original PlayStation. Yeah, that can go era defining. That can go at the bottom of era defining, no? Yeah. Really defined an era. It kicked off the most popular gaming franchise of all time, PlayStation. It's not Nintendo, bro. Okay, PlayStation is the most popular gaming franchise, gaming console of all time. Okay. Nintendo has sold more overall units, but that's because they're older. If we look at it from 1995, when the original PlayStation came out, PlayStation has more sales, bro, I think. And this is the bad boy that kicked it all off, the original PlayStation. Yeah, can't put it anywhere but era defining. It's at the top. It's one of the best consoles ever made. But the best selling console ever made was the PlayStation 2. And I'll put the PlayStation 2 ahead of the Nintendo Entertainment System, right after the Switch. I think it's the second best console ever made. Because back in the day, obviously I was born a little bit after this, but back in the day, in the year 2000, DVD players were fucking expensive for the time. $350, I think. Some might even be $400. You're telling me you could play Grand Theft Auto, Gran Turismo, Ratchet and Clank, Crash Bandicoot, and watch your favorite movies for just £200 or £250. Every one of their mums were buying this, bro. Every one of their mums were buying this. That was a genius idea for the time. You get me? Sony really thought ahead of the competition at that time. Let's make this into a multimedia machine. And you know that kicked off a whole era of consoles being used for other things than gaming. The Wii, you could watch Netflix on it, Netflix CD. The Wii U, Netflix. The Switch, you had YouTube. They took away Netflix, but whatever. The PS5, BBC iPlayer, YouTube, Netflix, TNT Sports. All these, you know, mediums, or media rather, sorry, my English is poor today. All these media evolved from this, the PS2, bro. If it weren't for the PS2 being the first ever console DVD player, we wouldn't have BBC iPlayer on the PS5. That's just an evolution of this idea, bro. Being able to do other things than gaming. Yeah, nah, the PS2 did well, man. Whoever thought of that, you're a fucking genius, man. The PS3, you know what it is, yeah? For me, the PS3 was the worst console of the... Is it? Wait, switch to... Switch... Yeah, the worst console of the 7th generation, yeah. Put that solid stable. It was Sony's first venture into HD, you get me, high definition. But apart from that, the Xbox 360 was better. And we all know the Wii won that one. So yeah. It's a good console, but can't put it any higher than solid staple. The PS4, however, This can go. This can go there. This was Sony's first venture into cross-platform play. Sony's first time collaborating with Xbox. Don't get me wrong, the PS3 was Sony's first venture into online play, Call of Duty, but you can only play Call of Duty with other people that are using PlayStations. With this, it became so much more, bro. You could play FIFA with a Jedi on Xbox. You could play Call of Duty with a Jedi on Xbox. You get me? Like, you could play Fortnite with people on Xbox, bro. It just expanded. Oh my god, it was such... Bro, nowadays, you can't even play games without it being cross-platform. Thanks to the PS4, bro. Or should I say thanks to Fortnite? But it came out on the PS4. So, thanks to the PS4, man. Yeah. PS4 at the top, bro. At the top. And this is the one that my age group grew up with. This was the PlayStation we grew up with. I didn't really have it. They gave me until near the end of this cycle. But this is the one we grew up with. So, yeah, it has to be an era defining. PS5, though. PS5, I'll put this... It just outsold the PS3, you know? It recently outsold it. I'll put this ahead of the PS3 and the Nintendo 64. I'll put it ahead of the Game Boy Advance as well. I'll put it there. Solid staple. It's not good enough. It's not done enough to put it here. Like, really, let's be honest. What games are coming out for the PS5? Exclusive new games. Name 15 right now. You can't. You can't. Yeah, you can't. It's not really done much, but just be a good medium for watching things. I don't even play games on my PS5. The only thing I do is watch One Piece. You get me? That's all I do with my PS5, watch One Piece. I be streaming as well, but really, it's my One Piece machine, okay? It's the machine that I use to watch One Piece. So, yeah, apart from that, ain't really doing much. And it's 500 Bomber Ass Club pounds. Well, at launch, it was 500 Bomber Ass Club pounds. Yeah, solid staple. Can't go any higher than that. And that's being generous. And the PlayStation Portable. Oh yeah, that can go at trendsetter. That's our second trendsetter of the video. Yeah, that can go at trendsetter. You're telling me you can play... Was it PS2 or PS1 graphics? Let's say PS2 graphics. You're telling me you can play PS2 games, or games with PS2 graphics on the go. Grand Theft Auto on the go. Gran Turismo on the go. The only reason why it's not higher is because, you know, it got destroyed by the DS at the time, but they were both selling well. They both sold pretty well. Okay? Don't get it twisted. They were both good consoles, but the DS was just better. It can't be in the same bracket as something that it was far inferior to. I put out trendsetter. It's a great idea. But this, its successor, well, it didn't succeed whatsoever. Dustbin of history, bro. Yeah, this is shit. I can't name a single game on this. I don't even remember this properly. The PS Vita, it was shit, bro. Let's be honest. The PS Vita was shit, and it's okay. It's okay. The PSP was good, but the PS Vita was shit. It got completely demolished by the Nintendo 3DS. Like, who even owned the PS Vita? I don't know anyone that owned a PS Vita, apart from some autistic guy that I know, right? That's the only guy I know that owns a PS Vita. Apart from that, who's playing this shit? Who is actually playing that? Nobody's using that. It's so poorly. Yeah, just can go to the bottom. As for the Super Nintendo, yeah, the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. This was the successor to the Nintendo Entertainment System. This can go here because this introduced us, or it brought forth Sonic the Hedgehog. If it weren't for this, there's no Sonic the Hedgehog. And I'm not saying Sonic the Hedgehog came out on it, because obviously it didn't. But the Sega, is it Mega Drive? Bro, these are old consoles. I'm just trying to, because I did a bit of research before doing this video, so I would know where to rank every console properly. But the Sega Mega Drive, or the Genesis as it's called in North America, was the main competitor to this, and they had Sonic the Hedgehog, and this one had Super Mario World. So yeah, put out trendsetter. Brought forth one of the best characters of all time, Sonic. Mario's so bad though, but hey, what can I say? Wii U. I put Wii U at Forgotten Flame. Yeah, I put Wii U at Forgotten Flame. It was advertised so poorly. People thought it was an accessory for the Wii. When I looked at this shit, actually no, I'll be honest, I knew it was the next console. But I can understand why it would look, or why people would think that it's just an accessory for the Wii. I mean, look at it. They look exactly the same. And then you just said Wii U. Not Wii 2. Not Super Wii. Wii U. What kind of next stop? Bro, like, no. That's a terrible name. So that's why it's so poorly. You guys gave it a shit name. You advertised it poorly. You didn't make it clear that it's the next console. But I'm not going to put it with the PS Vita, because it had good games on it. It had Super Smash Bros, Mario Kart 8, Super Mario 3D World. It had good games, and it was Nintendo's first venture into HD. And the idea was good. You get me? The Switch evolved on this idea. Without this, there's no Switch. So we put it at Forgotten Flame. But its predecessor, that is a serious contender for one of the best consoles of all time, the Nintendo Wii. Okay, that's a serious contender. Okay, era defining. It's disrespectful to put it anywhere but era defining. Okay, you can be a grandma. You can be fucking 5-year-old kid, 6-year-old kid. That doesn't stop you from playing Wii Sports. That doesn't stop you from playing tennis, golf, boxing. That doesn't stop you. The Wii truly was for everyone. That's why it's called Wii. Okay? Because we can all play it. Kids, old people, teenagers. We can all play it. Okay? So, era defining. Especially because these two tried to copy the motion control thing. Okay, PlayStation Move and the Kinect. PlayStation Move, fucking shit. The Kinect, it was good. In fact, it was even better than the Wii remote, I'll be honest. The technology was better. But, come on. Nah, you're just not beating the Wii, bro. The Wii was another level of nostalgia for me, bro. That was my first ever console. Okay, so I'll put that at the top. The Xbox 360 now. Can go at trendsetter. Okay, and this is why the Xbox 360 is gonna go at trendsetter above the PS3, even above the others in solid staple. Number one, Xbox's second venture into online. The original Xbox was online. It was an online console. You could play Halo online. But this was their second venture, and they expanded on it. Not only did they expand on it, but they made it HD. Okay, and it was more powerful than the PS3 at the time. The PS3 was an incredibly difficult console to program for, and it was fucking £600 at launch. 600 bomber ass club pounds. The Xbox 360, I think, was half that. This was £600 more expensive than the PS5. At launch. Yeah, Xbox 360, trendsetter, bro. Trendsetter. The Xbox One, forgotten flame. Why? Because even though it gave us cross-platform play, 1080p. Number one, this at launch, cheaper. This at launch, much better performance. This at launch, okay, just those two, right? Just those two. But those two are really important factors for why this fucking quadrupled the sales of this. Okay, I think this was the beginning of the end for Xbox. Okay, they couldn't pick back up here. It's not as bad as a Wii U, so I'll put it here. But yeah, it's a forgotten flame. It's a forgotten flame. The Xbox Series S, however, this can go ahead of PS5. It's better than PS5 for me. And the reason I say that is because when you had the Titans costing 500 fucking pounds in 2020, this came out at a smooth, at a smooth 300 pounds. And you can play all the games on these two on this little console here. This console, along with this, introduced Game Pass. Thousands of games for a subscription fee a month. Okay, and just in that small box, cheap. Yeah, I think that's the best console of this generation, the Xbox Series S. The Xbox Series X, though, I put after. Yeah, I put it there. Put it there. The design, I don't really like it, but hey, it's not about the design, it's about the console stuff, what it can do. Again, Game Pass, but this had its own little Game Pass thing. Yeah, I mean, still doing it right now. But yeah, actually, oh no, bring it here, yeah, like I said, Game Pass and 4K. But this generation overall is pretty mid, so all the consoles in this generation, apart from the Nintendo Switch, are gonna go in mid. And the original Xbox, can go there, solid staple. Get me? Very good introduction to the industry by Microsoft. Get me? It was a very good introduction. But yeah, that's my tier list. The Nintendo Switch is the best console of all time. The PlayStation Portable is the worst. And then you have everything else in between. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Let me know if you agree. Am I crazy for putting the PS Vita at the bottom? Let me know. I know some of you are going to think that, but you're not changing my mind. But yeah, let me know, and I'll catch you lot in the next video.